How many times can you say guys? Guys. Hey guys. What's up, guys? Puck. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Thanks so much for joining me today. Today's video is going to be a little bit different, not because I planned on it, but because I forgot to turn my mic on when I was recording this eye look. I tell you, that's going to be a whole new habit that I have to develop, is to remember to turn my mic on, because the mic I had before, it was, it was on all the time, or it came on automatically or something like that. Anyway, today's eye look features the 27 palette from Milk Cosmetics. And I like this palette. I wanted to revisit it because I've only worn it a couple of times, and it is a really pretty palette, really pretty color story, especially if you like these sort of warm leaning, neutrally orangey brown shades. And I do like these kinds of shades. So I will probably re-record that maybe tomorrow. We'll see if I, insert it here or not. At any rate, so one of the things that I was talking about when I was recording when I was putting on my eyeshadow and stuff was the plans that I have for this next month or so for my channel. I definitely want to do an empties video because it's been, I don't know, 3 or 4 months, I think, since I've recorded an empties video. And I think I've got enough stuff to share with you. I always kind of like those because they're like little mini speed reviews when people go through their trash and tell you what they like and didn't like, and what they plan to repurchase or have already repurchased, or maybe they didn't even finish it, or that kind of thing. So I think I've got enough stuff for that. Also, I want to do a video where I talk about like favorite foundations. There were a ton of foundation releases in like mid to late 2019 and even the beginning of 2020. And I have found some foundations that I really enjoy, and I want to share those with you. I want to do kind of a Christmas show and tell kind of thing of some of the things that I received, as well as some things that I have purchased myself in the last month or so. So I want to do that. I also have a project that I finished that I want to share with you. Not makeup related. It's a quilt, and so I wanted to share that with you as well. I don't know. I've got so many things kind of swirling around in my brain. I think I've mentioned that before, and so I wanted to do quite a few videos. I need to make a list and get those hammered out so that I can bring you some quality content. At least I hope you think it is quality content. I enjoy making it, even if nobody watches. No, I'm just kidding. That sounds really passive aggressive. That is not my intent. But anyway, so today, instead of bringing you the eyeshadow look, which is usually what I do, especially when I do these get ready with me type of videos, because I'm not using a new foundation today, but I'm gonna show that today. I'm gonna show my face products today instead of my eyeshadows. So I pulled out these two foundations. These are both from Catrice. These are the HD Liquid Coverage foundations. And I have 2 shades. I have 32 Nude Beige and 10 Light Beige. And I'm going to mix them together because I think Light Beige is a little light, and 32 is definitely too yellow and too dark for me right now. So I am going to put those on my face and just do the usual type of stuff as far as the rest of my face goes. And I'm hoping to get my empties video up right after this one or right before it. Whichever the case, I will link it when it is available. I hope everybody had a really nice holiday. I did. Just spent time the day with some family, and nothing crazy or anything like that. And this is family that I see all the time, so I was not too worried about the situation that we are all trying to cope with a little bit here. And yeah, it was a fun day. So I'm taking a couple of droppers of this foundation and I'm gonna mix it together on the back of my hand, and that's really a lot of foundation, and so I'm sure that I will not need that much. And I actually haven't filmed like a foundation video in a little while, so I'm just putting this on with the butt end of my foundation brush because I'm bougie like that apparently. One other thing that I did was that I turned down my lights just a little bit, just so I personally wouldn't feel so squinty when I was doing my makeup and stuff on camera, because I think I turned it down another like a 10%. So I believe it's at 80% right now. And I can definitely feel the difference, like as far as when I look up into my ring light and stuff. And hopefully the lighting will be sufficient for you to see what I'm doing here. But I like this foundation, at least I remember liking it. I have not worn it in a hot minute, but I think that's a nice match to mix the two. That's about a 50-50 ratio, I think. This is a pretty nice foundation. This is supposed to be long wearing and last for 24 hours. I don't personally ever wear my makeup for 24 hours, but that's just me, and I know there are people out there that like their makeup to last a very, very long time because they work and so they don't want their makeup to fall apart, you know, halfway through the day. I totally get that. I don't worry so much about that because I don't work out of the house. But I think that's a nice amount of coverage. I'm going to say this is pretty full coverage. So this is the Catrice HD Liquid Coverage Foundation. Lasts up to 24 hours. Mattifying and second skin effect. Lightweight and non-oily texture that feels like a second skin, provides a long-lasting full coverage without mask effect and creates an even complexion with high definition finish for camera ready skin. And you're supposed to shake this before you use it, and I definitely did that. So yeah, I think this is a pretty nice full coverage foundation, not too cakey looking and stuff. Let me have a look here in my closer mirror. Yeah, this is a very pretty foundation. I will say that if you tend to be dry, go easy on it and definitely moisturize really well before you put it on, because it is a matte foundation. You can see that it's quite a matte foundation, which I don't mind as long as it doesn't look dry. Matte's one thing, dry is a whole other thing, and I don't like that. I do think that this is quite a pretty foundation. I remembered liking it, and I thought, I was just looking through my foundations, and I thought I'm gonna pull out something that I haven't worn in a really long time, and we're gonna put that on today. So that's what I did. This is a Real Techniques concealer brush. I like it pretty well. It's not my favorite concealer brush, but it will do the job today. And that was the Giorgio Armani concealer, which I really like. I'm seriously considering getting a one shade lighter or half a shade lighter, because I think these go 3.5, 4 like that. And I have the shade 3.5. So I was thinking about getting maybe 2.5. I have to go in and look because I don't want to get the wrong color. This is a really nice match for me right now. So if I want something a little bit more brightening, which on occasion I do, I'm not really all about gobs of concealer. It just doesn't look that great under my eyes. I am mature enough that I don't like that look, and I'm fortunate enough that I don't have tons of darkness to cover up. Typically I do set my concealer and I use the NARS crystal powder. It's listed in practically every video that I make. Pretty light application there though, although I don't know if you actually could put too much of this powder on. I've never experienced that, so it's very forgiving in that regard. I'm not going to powder because I don't think it's necessary with this one. So I think what I'm going to use for a little bit of contour today is my Keven sculpting palette that I have, and usually I use the cream one, as you can tell, but I think I'm going to use the powder one today. I don't use it a lot, the powder, because I prefer a cream contour, but it is a nice shade. It's very nice to blend out, very forgiving. Pretty hard to go in too heavy with it, especially for someone like myself that's relatively fair and doesn't want like a scary streak down the side of their face. But I tend to contour right. I have this natural divot right here, so I tend to go from like where my ear meets my head down to that divot. I don't usually bring it any further in than that, and I blend it out really well because, like I say, I don't want like a big streak. For my bronzer, I'm going to use the Fenty bronzer, and this is in the shade Into Sun, and I like this a lot. I use this a lot. For some reason, I know I reach for it a lot. It's listed often in my like description box and stuff. Part of the reason for that is because it blends out so nice. At least this shade on me, it's the right color. It's you know, it's a bronzer, so it's got some warmth to it, but it's not too orange and it's not too cool. It's not a contour shade. So I appreciate that, and it's effortless. I mean, it just almost always looks good, at least in my opinion. I grab that little brush that I used for my contour and just pinch it a little bit and put, there's nothing on here other than just, you know, what might be left, and bring that down the side of my nose. I'm not a big nose contour kind of person. I could definitely use it, but I most of the time I'm just like, I don't know. It can go so wrong so quickly that it's yeah, a dangerous thing. So I'm picking up a little bit of the NYX, what is this? The Highlight and Contour Pro, and putting a little bit more of that and then just kind of blending that out. I prefer not a like super precise contour on my nose, just because, or anywhere really for that matter, because I don't know, it's hard to pull off, and it's just not my jam. And I'm gonna go in with my foundation brush, just kind of over that lightly, because I got a little heavy-handed there. Okay, for my blush, I'm gonna go into this MAC Cheer Up Glow Play blush, and I believe this came out last spring. I think that's right. And I like this. This is kind of not a cream to powder, but it's kind of a creamy powder. I think it's really, again, it's just one of those products that I had that's super effortless. I don't have to think about too much. It builds nicely, but it doesn't like scare you when you first put it on your, you know, on your face. You're not one of those instances where you pick up blush and you put it on and it's just instant clown city. And I tend to like my blush a little bit further back than right here, like on the apples of my cheeks. That's just my preference. So that's I really enjoy that blush. One of the things that I don't know, I keep using this. I'm like, Amy, you gotta stop. Use something else. But this is the Melt highlighter in the shade Stargazer. This is one of the Digital Dust highlighters, and I mentioned this in lots of videos. So, but I just think it's so pretty. And it's one of those things that you can really make quite subtle, I think, or you can really build it up. And I'm using not a super dense brush, but a little bit denser. It's not like a fan brush or anything like that. But you could definitely use something fluffier if you wanted something that was a little more subtle. but I just think it's really pretty. I like a little highlighter right there, and I don't usually do this, but we'll do it today. And I usually just go over kind of my brow, because I haven't done my brows yet, with whatever highlighter I use, as opposed to going in with like a dedicated shade for my brow bone highlight. Last night when I was cleaning off my vanity a bit, I was playing with my lip liners and just kind of checking them over to see what I have and everything, which I don't have like a million of them, but I have quite a few. And they're all various shades of nude, but no, that's not true. I have one purple one and one red one, which I never reach for. But today I'm going to use the NYX Lip Liner Pencil in Beige. In my opinion, that's not particularly beige. That's pretty peachy color. But that's all right. We're gonna go with it. You know, there was a time when I didn't put liner on at all, and I don't always put it on. I don't even think it's absolutely necessary. But for some reason lately anyway, I've been really enjoying a little bit of an overlined lip. For lips, I think I'm going to go in with this L'Oreal Full Blown Fawn. This is one of the matte ones. This one's been out for quite a long time, but I quite enjoy this color. Now, I'm not super into matte lips right now, so I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of gloss over it. This is the Anastasia one called Tasty. I think I mentioned this in my last video. All right, let's go ahead and put some color underneath. Let's see, what do I want to do? Let's start out with the shade Nip Slip. This is from the Melt 27 palette. And we'll just kind of buff that out. Bring it, I like to bring it, well, not, you know, down to my chin or anything, but I like to bring it down a bit. And I will probably go ahead and deepen this up with a little bit of something. But I like this color quite a lot. So I used quite a lot of Moxie, which is this nice kind of rust shade here on the top. Do I want to do that on the bottom? I think I will. Let me grab a little tiny guy, and I'm going to pick up a little bit of that, and we're going to focus that kind of on the outer part and connect it up, bring it up under my wing there. And bring that in about, 2/3, 3/4 of the way. So I'm just going to take that first brush and just kind of go along those edges. Just so there's nothing harsh there. All right, let me put on some liner on the bottom. This is the shade Call Me from ColourPop. And this is one of the old ones. You can tell by the packaging, the white and color packaging, but it's a nice dark brown. I don't know if they still make this color. All right, we're gonna do a little mascara. This is I use this every day. This is the Thrive mascara. And it's not so much that I use it every day because I think it's this amazing thing and I get tremendous length and tremendous volume and all that kind of thing, but it does not transfer on me. It doesn't flake, it doesn't smear, it doesn't do any of that. And I have very, very few mascaras that I can say that about, and this is one of them. So let me finish up my mascara here, and I will put on some lashes, and then I will, come back and I'll wrap this video up. I'll be right back, guys. Okay, guys, I am back, and I went ahead and did my my lashes and stuff, and I picked these up yesterday at TJ Maxx, and these were $3.99. These are the Lolita lashes from the Cream Shop, and these are 3D foam ink, and they're quite dramatic for me even. The reason that I bought them is because they seemed a little bit more kind of a nice mix of spiky and wispy. I tend to like ones that are a little bit more winged out, and these are quite round. And I did have to, let me show you, I had to trim off a significant amount of these to get them to fit on my eyes. So that's like how much I trimmed off of each lash. So that's at least 1/4 of an inch. And yeah, that's kind of a good thing, I think, to have a lash that's big enough to fit somebody that's got quite large eyes. My eyes, I think, are relatively small, or average. And anyway, I think they're quite pretty. I'm trying this glue that I get every time I buy Eyelure lashes. I don't know if all of them come with it, but it's the little tiny glue from Eyelure, and I wore it yesterday and it seemed to work okay, but it stinks. I mean, it like the little, it's not a brush, it's just like a little, sort of a little thing. And it has a definite scent to it. And it's not like I can smell it now that it's on my eyes or anything, but it's not the most pleasant smell. Mostly, I'm sorry that I didn't get to film well, I did film it. I just don't have any sound with that film. But I'm pleased that I played with the Melt Cosmetics 27 palette again today, because I think this is a really, really pretty palette. Somewhere in my collection, that sounds terrible, but I have the Gemini palette, I think. And I want to dig that out and play with that again, because I have had really good luck with the last few palettes that I've purchased from Melt that look like this, that are kind of the long slim version. So I like this one. I love the Rust one, and the She's in Parties one is a really nice purple leaning palette if you're looking for something purple. If you have like gray green eyes like I do, or green eyes in general, purple looks amazing on greenish eyes. And I also have the Melt, the Recently Deceased palette from Beetlejuice. I don't love that palette. I will link the video that I did with that palette. I've only played with it the once, so I'm reserving final judgment, until I revisit it. And I'm happy with the way everything turned out. Do you like my earrings? I got these for Christmas from my sister-in-law Rose. And they're really pretty. They're very, they're sparkly, but they're not rhinestones. They're just that super shiny metallic chain, and they're kind of a pretty coppery rose gold color. So I thought they went really well with my shirt today. Anyway, I think I am going to leave it there for now. Hopefully I can get this eye look re-filmed tomorrow, but if not, you'll just have to forgive me and trust that I did a fabulous job. Anyway, thanks so much for joining me today, guys. I really appreciate your time here. If you're returning subscriber or viewer, I really appreciate that. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and ring that bell so that you're notified whenever I upload a new video. And I'm gonna try to do my 3 to 4 times a week from now until the foreseeable future, or the next big holiday or something like that. And until my next video, bye guys.